me start by telling you a little bit about myself. Hi, my name is Plearn. I was born and raised here in Bangkok, Thailand. I'm at the ripe age of 18 years old and have just been accepted into the Faculty of Medicine at Chulalongkorn University, which is known to be one of the best medical schools in the nation. Now, if you're not already, let's pretend that right now you are inside the mind of an Asian parent. One of the first thoughts that may have popped into your mind after my introduction may be, wow, she's so smart, or she's for sure going to have a bright future. Her parents must be so proud. Now, let's change it up a bit. What if I instead told you that I've decided to skip college to pursue my dream of becoming a superstar? My guess would be that your perception of me has changed drastically. Am I right? Now, don't get me wrong. The career of doctors has been put up on a pedestal, but I'm in no way, shape, or form saying which field is better than the other. This is simply the reality of Asian culture, the culture of how Asian parents are obsessed with doctors. You see, I'd say this stereotype is nothing new really. You've probably heard about it before, as it's been around for literally thousands of years, since the time when China was corrupted and poor. People back then would look up to doctors as these superheroes, the ones with wisdom, knowledge, and tranquility, here to save the people. Although times have passed and doctors themselves have changed, Asian parents have not, and are still obsessed with having their children pursue medicine, now more than ever. So I'm here today to ask why. Why do Asian parents want us to become doctors? As someone with an Asian background, I've realized that it boils down to three main reasons. The first reason being, of course, money. Due to medicine being an extremely competitive field, many Asian parents have experienced life as immigrants, causing them to have gone through tough economic situations. Paired with the fact that they often associate careers in the medical field with very large paychecks, it makes sense as to why they would want their children to pursue a secure and high-paying job like doctors. Now, some Asian parents may say that, money isn't the main factor, but instead it's all about bragging rights, family pride, which brings us to the second reason, prestige. Due to medicine being an extremely competitive field, having a child pursue that field immediately brings prestige, respect, and social acceptance to the family. And who wouldn't want that, right? The last reason is the idea that medicine is a stable career, that it's relatively easy for doctors to find and maintain their job. They think that once you get into med school, you'll become a doctor and your future is pretty much secured, set in place, and ready to go. Now, from these three reasons of money, prestige, and stability that I've just told you about, you can probably understand now why Asian parents are so obsessed with having their children become doctors. And as I mentioned before, I grew up in what I would consider a pretty typical Asian family like many others, where education was considered the highest priority. My parents would always stress the importance of school and studying to my siblings and me. And because of that, I worked hard and tried my best to get perfect scores and straight A's for the satisfaction of making them proud. And as I learned and explored my interests, I fell in love with science when I first learned what a cell was in 5th grade, and ever since then, my heart was set on becoming a doctor. However, for the longest time, my parents actually didn't want me to become a doctor. Yes, you heard me right. You'd think it'd be a dream come true for Asian parents to have their child pursue medicine, but nope, not my parents. You see, ever since I was born, I'll admit that I've been to a certain extent protected and shielded from the harsh realities of human life. I had my parents who provided for me, a nanny who took care of me, and a driver who drove me places. Needless to say, I always had things served and catered to my every need, which is essentially the exact opposite of what doctors do, as doctors are supposed to be the one who serves others, caring, treating, and putting patients' needs before themselves. So, when my dad first learned about my ambitions, instead of being happy or proud like other Asian parents, he said, no, why would you ever want to be a doctor? You'd be stressed, tired, and sleep deprived, which, to be honest, is kind of true. Due to the hard work, long hours, high stakes, and overwhelming workload, studies show that 47% of physicians have reported feeling burned out. And doctors actually have one of the highest rates of suicide than any other profession, having about one doctor commit suicide every single day. My parents, understanding the true reality of working in the medical field, were then super against the idea of me becoming a doctor. They didn't necessarily care about the money, prestige, or stability that other Asian parents often associate doctors with, but were mainly concerned about the well-being of their daughter to live a comfortable and healthy lifestyle. So you see, medicine isn't the picture-perfect career that typical Asian parents imagine it to be. And if we take an even closer look at the actual realities of the profession, we can see that the money, prestige, and stability may just be myths that have evolved from years and years of misconceptions. For example, if you didn't already know, to become a doctor in Thailand, you would have to go through about 6 years of medical school, 3 to 7 years of residency, and 1 to 3 years of fellowship training. This means that you'll be making an actual salary by the time you're well into your 30s. Whereas if you were to have a startup or become a software engineer, you can easily make 6 figures straight out of undergrad or even without any formal education. So if your primary goal is to make money, why put yourself through years and years of studying just to miss out on your 20s when there are much easier alternatives where you can make a lot more income? Apart from that, 1 in 3 physicians get sued by the age of 55, and 1 in 2 of those are hit with lawsuits. Imagine building up your reputation for years and years and then getting sued. The reputation, money, and prestige can just be gone in the blink of an eye. So, after understanding the harsh realities of working in the medical field, I want you to again pretend that right now you are inside the mind of an Asian parent and ask yourself, would you still want your children to become doctors? These misconceptions of the medical field have tainted perspectives from what doctors truly are. Personally, I knew about all the reasons that should have persuaded me to go against the idea of pursuing medicine, about all the hard work, long hours, and misconceptions. I even remember how one time I went to doctor shadowing, hoping to get inspiration and advice from real doctors, only to be told to not become one. However, I still persisted to pursue this field despite other people's concerns, simply because I genuinely wanted to. Ever since 5th grade and until now, I still love science and want to learn even more about medicine. I find medicine exciting, challenging, and an extremely rewarding career that you just can't find anywhere else. So, I'd like to end my talk today by highly encouraging all potential medical students to research what you're getting yourself into, because your expectations may not line up with reality. These reasons of money, prestige, and stability may seem convincing now, but sooner or later, it will not only do yourself harm, but also your future patients. By gathering your own perspective on this matter, you create your own path, free from the expectations and opinions other people put on you. Medicine is a lifelong commitment, so really reflect and ask yourself, is medicine the right fit for me? Because the MD that stands for Doctor of Medicine doesn't stand for mom and dad, but instead it should stand for my decision and my dream. Thank you.